Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Let's get this. It's going to fly off. Okay, so this is a bonus reading for Libra, and our card tonight is the Knight of Wands, which would equal the Prince of Wands in the Thoth system. And usually I read with the Thoth card, so I like to mention that. All right, so let's take a look. What's going on in these tea leaves? What do they want to tell us tonight? And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so I want to start here. I feel like when you were a kid that you had two really involved parents. Okay, so I'm seeing we have a person sitting here. We have what looks like a child right here in their arms. And then we have another person, grown-up person, over here holding kind of something. It looks like a fish to hand to the child. Okay, so I do feel like there was a real bond between you, your mother, and your father. Okay. Now, was this your biological family? Maybe not. Maybe this is a stepfather. This could be a stepmother. It could be another caretaker, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever, right? The configuration does not have to be that mom, dad, kid. It does not have to be exactly that. But I do feel like that masculine energy, that feminine energy, very present in your life, okay? Now, I see that over here we have, this person's holding a fish on this side. There's a fish over here. There's a fish right there. Maybe a couple over here. So they definitely were very involved in their work, in their career. They were maybe away from the house quite often. But I do feel like when they were around, when you got to spend time with them, they were totally involved with you. They maybe played with you and, took you to your activities. You showed up at the soccer game, cheered you on, all of that kind of stuff, okay? Now on this side we have, it feels like a more feminine person over here. So we have kind of more of that mom energy. And I feel like you were probably pretty close with your mom, or you are pretty close. She could still be, around, right? And so I think that you felt very loved and safe, especially in that realm, okay? Now in the other, yeah, of course, I think that you felt a connection and a belovedness, and probably also provided for and safe. But I think you maybe spent more time with mom, okay? So both of these bonds really important, and I think that this is really kind of the space where you developed as a very emotional and I think open person. Like you're willing to be vulnerable with people. You feel pretty confident in who you are as a being, as a person, as a being, that you don't have to hide your emotions, right? I feel like you're respectful of other people's comfort, right? So you're not maybe like totally letting it loose when you're angry or upset, but I do think that you are very willing to tell somebody, hey, I care about you. Hey, I love you. hey, I'm so glad you're in my life, this kind of thing. And I think that you have heard maybe more than once in your life that you're really the only person that they've met that's ever been so open, right? That's ever been so willing to kind of share how you're feeling and really kind of show up to your relationships, value your interactions with others. And I do feel like that has a lot to do with probably your childhood, right? And so now I want to turn this, and we see there's a face right here. Okay, you can see the eyes, there's the nose, there's the mouth. And now I kind of want to go back this way first, and then we'll go and look at those trees real quick. But we have kind of the face of an older person. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth kind of looks a little more wrinkly, right? So I do feel like this is maybe the same person here and on the other side. And I wonder if you are kind of going through this period of your life where you're kind of maybe getting a little older and you're going back over the histories of your time on this earth, right? You're thinking about those old things. You're thinking about the places you've been, the people you've known, the things that you've done and seen, and you know, your victories, your heartbreaks, and all of the things in between. I feel like this is a place where you're kind of taking inventory of all that has been and all that you hope that might be, right? And so, yes, it's a time of introspection for sure. I think it's a time of some amount of maybe feeling kind of sentimental, but I think also there is this feeling of being almost surprised, right? How much things changed so many times throughout your life. And I think that you like to go there at times to remind yourself, right? Everything is always changing and evolving. Nothing stays the same. And there's some freedom in that. That's scary as well, right? We think, I'm going to cling to what I have right now. I want it to last forever. But it doesn't. It doesn't. And, it's good to be able to kind of go back to those places in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, and visit them. Because you have access to them. But I do think that, it's something that we have to temper ourselves with, okay? We can end up living in the past a little too long. We can get so very distracted from what's going on right now and live in a place that is no more, right? And so, good or bad, right? It might be that you lament that, the family dynamic's not the same. You think about the holidays and being with your grandparents and a lot of the stuff is maybe come and gone and that's difficult, even maybe many years later. But there's a freedom in this, right? There's a knowing that things will always change. There will always be something else just around the corner. And, maybe right now, this is a time where you're feeling a little stuck or you're not really in a happy place or, whatever it is. It will change, right? And it's going to. And it will again, and it will again, and it will again. And so I want to look at, we have a person who is kind of standing on the back of a sheep. You can see the sheep is right here. This is the body, and here is kind of the head. It looks like somebody is fallen on the ground beneath it, and there's a person standing on it, okay? So immediately I feel like it reminds me of falling asleep, right? You kind of fall into the bed and all of a sudden the sheep are showing up, and next thing you know, you're exiting the body and entering the astral. And so I almost feel like this is an invitation for you to go wandering through those dream landscapes. And this might be the key, right? We don't always think of our dreams as being such a tool, but it is. This is a place, I like to call it the laboratory. This is the place where we get to go and live out the things that we could not in the physical world. This is the place where we find answers that we cannot extrapolate from the material domain, right? Nobody has all the answers for us. And so sometimes we have to go wandering in our dream world to find those jewels. And yes, I do. I think that maybe where you have felt maybe like you're spinning your wheels, or you're kind of in a mode of like life's writer's block, right? And not sure how to get unstuck. So you go to your dreams and you listen and you wander and you get entangled in adventures. And when you wake up, write it down. Keep track of what's going on. Look for the patterns. Look for the repeating symbols or scenarios or impressions that are coming back with you. Especially if you're having dreams that continue into your waking life. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you. That's, we've all had these dreams where we wake up and it was so, I guess it's like sensory heavy. It was so involved that when you wake up, you're just in that mood still. It feels like you are, one foot is in the dream and one foot is in the physical world, and it comes with you. And especially when you have dreams like that, make sure that you are keeping track of all of the details that you can remember, but most especially how it makes you feel. What are the feelings that are coming out of these dreams? Okay. And I think that this is another place for you to kind of be working out whatever it is that's going on. And I don't know about you, but I will tell you I've had some of my best ideas when I wake up in the middle of the night and I think, oh my gosh, that's what we should do. An example, now I'm not saying this is the best of the best of the best, but shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. I had thought about what can we do with his set. I don't know what to do. We've worked together to kind of set up what his stuff looks like, but there was something missing. When he moved into the new studio, the size of everything looked different and the placement. So, suddenly, late at night, in a dreamy state, I thought, what if it was like the curtains being pulled back and there was like this blue back there, And it was almost kind of like, it reminds me of like the Wizard of Oz or something, when everything goes into Technicolor in the movie. And how can we do that? And so, that's how we figured it out. That's how it came to be that his set now has those cool red curtains and stuff. So this is a wonderful gift that we have to be able to access the theater of our dreams. And it feels like it's inviting you. Absolutely. Now, I want to go back this way and look at these trees. We have a tree over here. Okay. Now, it looks like we have, a grumpy green man down here. Now, if you don't know who the green man is, go look him up. It's kind of a face that has leaves on it. I think of it as like when you look out into the tree line, right? And you start to see kind of, shapes that start to look like faces looking back at you. Or you look at some bark and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks like it has a face on it. Well, this is what the green man feels like to me. Now, up here, it looks like you have a young tree growing, but we also have a person who is watering it. And so, yes, I feel like this is a real indication of not only evolution of self, but evolution of family, right? Of your line, of your ancestry. And I do think that probably this has to do with you kind of breaking generational, whatever, turmoils or things that have been passed down in the family, behaviors or beliefs or whatever it is. And you have actively decided to stop that thing. Get rid of that thought virus, right? Expel it. And I feel you really trying to begin a new era. And I believe this has a lot to do with maybe you raising your kids, how you've raised them, how you've treated them, how you've related to them as human beings. Also, I think just generally in the community, I think that you have been involved with the youth in some capacity, involved with people who maybe need your help. And I think that it's really something that it's not even a question of, should I do this? Is this, worth the trouble? You have to, right? It feels like it is your calling. And so I see this work and it looks so beautiful to be a person of service who has given yourself to kind of bettering the future in some way, right? Hoping for a better future. Hoping that the people you love and the people who are part of your community have lives that are better than your own and better than your parents and better than their parents. And that's the best we can hope for, right? But you aren't just hoping for it. You are actively engaged in making this world a better place, right? Evolving, raising the vibration, And so I also look over here, we have this beautiful tree. And I feel like, even though you are working to kind of change the generational sicknesses and outmoded ways of thinking and conditionings and so on, I do feel that you are very proud of your family, your parents especially. I feel like they're so important to you. So, it's like anybody else's life, any of us as beings, there's the good and the bad. We are complex, right? We are absolutely containing so many fragments of so many things, of so many moments and so many happenstances and, variables that are shifting, that it is a miracle. Each of us is a miracle, right? And sometimes we can have a hard life, but it can be a beautiful life. Sometimes we can have a charmed life and it can be, just marred with disaster and pain and difficulties and all of it mixed together. So, I think that you are at a place where you recognize this and Yeah, you're embracing yourself. You're embracing your histories. You're embracing your people, but you're also actively doing the work to change the things that don't need to stick around any longer. Okay, so maybe some of the most important work there is, not maybe, most probably, most likely, is. We'll get to is. It is the most important work, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Now we have, it looks like T, we also have a 9, and we have a B. T9B. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. It also looks like it says E heart A. It reminds me of something somebody would carve on a tree. E heart A. There's kind of a little sad face. So it seems kind of bittersweet. I don't know. Maybe the first love. I don't really see a lot on here. We do have an I. I feel like there is kind of this, you are being looked after. And that's the thing, is I feel like there's a sense of security that you have. And I think it is. It's the family connection. It's also knowing that you are being watched over. You can feel it, I think, in everything that you do. And there's just I don't know, is it a lack of kind of deep anxiety? Or maybe you have deep anxiety. I don't know, but I don't know. There's a sureness. There's a sureness that you feel that I don't know. I don't recognize that because my life didn't play out that way. So I struggle to trust things and to feel secure in situations unless I'm the one, kind of leading the charge or the ship, driving the ship. So, yeah, I don't know. It feels, but I think that this really allows you to be brave in a lot of ways and take chances and really believe in yourself, and not in like an icky kind of, self-involved and kind of a little bit delusional way, but you really do believe in yourself, and it feels wholesome. That's what it is. There's a feeling that's like very wholesome. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do our self-care affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. It says, Diamond Heart, I am worthy. My life is valuable beyond measure. I invite blessings to flow into my day. My diamond heart is deserving of all good things. My diamond heart is deserving of all good things. Absolutely. All right. Well, Libra, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. I absolutely do. And if you're new, if this is your first time or one of your first times, shout it out in the comments. Let me know. All right. Okay, Libra, I want to tell you again, I love ya. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.